The spaceship hummed softly as it descended through the thick, swirling atmosphere of Violia. Outside the window, clouds of strange colors shifted and glowed faintly, like a living painting. Captain Alara Miles pressed her forehead against the glass, eyes wide with wonder. She had traveled across half the galaxy to study this planet, one that humans had only glimpsed in satellite scans and fragmentary reports. Legends told of a vast garden that seemed alive, intelligent in ways that humans could hardly understand. Most humans avoided it, fearing the unknown, but for Alara, fear had never outweighed curiosity. The ship's landing gear touched the soft, luminous soil, and a gentle vibration ran through the cabin. Outside, towering trees with translucent leaves swayed in the windless air, their surfaces glittering like crystals. Flowers in every imaginable hue seemed to float above the ground, and tendrils of light wove through the air, connecting plants in an invisible network. The beauty of the place took Alara's breath away. "Welcome to Violia," she whispered, her voice trembling slightly. She was alone, apart from her small research droid, KAI-3, hovering silently at her side. "Let's see what secrets you hold." Every step sent a ripple of light across the ground, as if the planet itself were reacting to her presence. She moved slowly, careful not to disturb anything. Her eyes scanned every detail, noting the strange flowers that seemed to pulse like hearts, the vines that shifted direction as if watching her, and the air itself, which carried a faint hum, soothing yet electric. After a while, she reached the edge of a dense grove. Here the colors were richer, the air thicker with the scent of blooms she couldn't identify. She knelt down, brushing her gloved fingers over a plant that shimmered in response. It was warm, almost soft like velvet, and the moment her fingers touched it, it unfurled slightly, exposing petals that glowed a gentle blue. Alara's heart raced. "This isn't just a plant," she murmured. "It's aware." His eyes were deep and golden, reflecting the light of the garden, and his hair moved slightly, as if underwater. He watched her with cautious curiosity, and for a moment neither spoke. "Who are you?" Alara finally asked, her voice steady despite the flutter in her chest. "I am alien," he replied, his voice melodic, almost blending with the hum of the garden. "You are not welcome here. The garden does not forgive recklessness." Alien watched, expression unreadable, as if the garden itself was judging her worthiness. They walked together in silence, the forest around them alive with motion. Flowers tilted towards them, vines shifted as they passed, and glowing spores drifted lazily through the air. Alara felt a strange calm, as if the garden were breathing with them. "Why does it respond to me?" she asked finally, unable to contain her curiosity. "Because you are open," Alien replied simply. "Most who come are full of fear or greed. They take, they destroy, you seek to understand." "It's alive." Alien gestured towards it. "This is the heart of the garden," he said. "It remembers everything, every life that has touched this place, every feeling, every choice, and it reacts accordingly." Warmth spread into her palm, and she felt a rush of images, humans walking clumsily among the plants, some curious, some fearful, some greedy. The tree seemed to test her, measuring her intent. Her heart raced. "It's like it can see me," she whispered. "Yes," Alien said softly, "and it judges not only actions but heart. Be truthful, be open, and it will reveal its secrets." By the time the twin suns of Violia began to set, painting the sky in streaks of pink and violet, Alara realized she had lost all sense of time. "You must return soon," Alien said. "The garden is forgiving, but not all life outside this place is." The garden had changed her in ways she couldn't fully explain. Even in her dreams, she could see the glowing plants and feel the warmth of the heart of the garden. And she couldn't stop thinking about Alien, his golden eyes, his calm presence, and the unspoken connection she felt with him. Back at the human base, the contrast was stark. The sterile metal walls, the humming machinery, and the muted colors made the garden feel like a distant memory. Yet she carried it within her, a living spark that no metal or concrete could dull. She knew the other humans would not understand. They were here for study, yes, but also for control, for ownership. And she knew, deep down, that she could not allow that. Alara lay in her bunk that night, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment in the garden. Every plant, every light, every subtle gesture of Alien. She felt a strange warmth, a growing sense of connection, not just to him, but to the garden itself. She wondered if the feeling was mutual, if the garden had chosen her as much as she had chosen it. Sleep came slowly, and when it did, her dreams were vivid. She was walking through the garden again, the glowing paths guiding her deeper than before. Flowers bent to her touch, vines curled in greeting, and in the center the heart of the garden pulsed in rhythm with her own heartbeat. Alien appeared beside her, silent, his presence comforting. Together they stood in the clearing, bathed in light and color, feeling a sense of peace that neither had ever known. When she awoke, Alara felt a renewed sense of purpose. This garden, this planet, this connection, she would protect it. She would learn from it. And perhaps, if the universe allowed, she would see Alien again. The day had changed everything. One step into the forbidden garden and her world had shifted. Not just her career, not just her understanding of alien life, but something deeper, something personal. The spark of curiosity had become a flame of wonder, and the flame hinted at something more, something that could not be contained by rules or boundaries, not even by the vastness of space. As Alara prepared for the next day, she packed her equipment carefully, her mind racing with possibilities. She knew the other humans would be cautious, perhaps even hostile, but she felt ready. The garden had tested her heart, and she had passed, and she would not let the beauty she had found or the connection she had felt be harmed by ignorance or greed. The sons of Violia rose again, casting a golden glow across the strange, living world. And somewhere, deep within the glowing forests, Alien watched, waiting as if he too sensed that something extraordinary was beginning. Alara took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of the garden lingering even here, miles away. One day had changed everything, and tomorrow she would return. Alara woke with a sense of excitement and determination. The memory of the garden lingered in her mind, vivid and alive. She dressed quickly, double-checking her equipment. Today, she decided, she would go deeper into the garden. The first day had been a test, and now she felt ready to truly explore. KAI-3 hovered beside her as she stepped outside the human base. The droid's sensors glowed softly, scanning the air for unusual chemical compositions. "All systems operational, Captain Miles," it reported in its calm, mechanical voice. Alara smiled faintly. Even the droid could sense the uniqueness of this world. The path to the garden felt shorter than she remembered, as if the planet itself wanted her to return. The moment she stepped through the luminous canopy, the familiar sensation of warmth and light wrapped around her. Vines shifted gently, flowers leaned toward her as if greeting an old friend, and the soft hum of the garden filled the air. She did not walk alone for long. From the shadows, a figure emerged, Alien. His golden eyes met hers immediately, and there was a moment of recognition that needed no words. "You have returned," he said, voice calm, but with a hint of curiosity. "I could not stay away," Alara replied. "There is so much to see, so much to understand. I feel connected here, like the garden is part of me." "But you are not afraid." The ground beneath their feet pulsed faintly, almost like the heartbeat of the world itself. "This section is rarely visited by outsiders," Alien said. "The plants here are sensitive. They respond to intentions, feelings, and even thoughts." As her fingers brushed the petals, they changed hue, glowing brighter in response to her touch. She gasped softly. "It's incredible. They can feel me, understand me." Alien taught her how to interpret the subtle movements of the plants, the way a vine would curl slightly to indicate curiosity, or a flower would shimmer in approval. Alara was fascinated, taking careful notes and sketches. The garden responded to her presence more vividly than ever before. Trails of light followed her steps, and clusters of flowers swayed toward her as if sharing secrets. "You learn quickly," Alien remarked, his voice carrying a quiet warmth. "Most cannot understand the language of this place. But perhaps you will be different. It protects certain areas. You must not disturb it, but if you are sincere, it will not harm you. It chooses who may enter its inner sanctum." The garden transformed in subtle ways. Flowers changed colors, vines rearranged themselves, and a soft melody seemed to hum through the air. Alara and Alien arrived at a clearing she had not seen before. In its center was a pond, its surface perfectly still, reflecting the glowing flora around it. Strange aquatic plants floated on the water, radiating soft light. "This is the mirror pond," Alien said. "It shows more than reflection. It can reveal truths if you are ready to see them." "It shows possibilities," she whispered. "Some good, some dangerous." And somehow, she knew that Alien would help her do it. They spent the rest of the day exploring the area around the mirror pond, discovering plants that seemed to hum in resonance with their footsteps and flowers that emitted scents, causing subtle emotional shifts. Alara noticed how her heart seemed lighter, her thoughts clearer, and she realized the garden itself was healing and teaching her. As the suns began to set, painting the sky in streaks of orange and pink, Alien guided her back toward the edge of the grove. "You have done well today," he said. "The garden has accepted you further. It will bloom in your presence now more than ever. It is too alive, too aware. It shows us ourselves." "Yes," Alien replied. "If you return with honesty and care, I will be here." Back at the base, the contrast between the sterile human environment and the vibrant, living world of the garden was stark. The walls, the machinery, the muted colors, all felt dull compared to the luminescent greens, blues, and purples she had left behind. But she carried the memory with her, and with it, a renewed sense of purpose. Over the next few days, Alara returned to the garden, each visit revealing more of its wonders. She learned to communicate subtly with the plants, recognizing patterns in their movements and responses. Vines would curl in acknowledgement, flowers would glow in agreement, and the air itself would seem to shimmer with approval. Alien guided her patiently, teaching her the language of the garden without words. But her joy was tempered by tension. Other humans began to arrive on the planet, scientists and explorers who had heard of Virelia's potential. Some were respectful, curious like Alara, but others were motivated by ambition, greed, or competition. Alara realized that if the wrong people discovered the heart of the garden, they could cause irreparable harm. One afternoon, as she studied a group of luminescent vines, she overheard a conversation from the human team nearby. "If we can harvest the lumina plants, we could generate energy on Earth for decades," one scientist said eagerly. "This could make us rich and famous." "Yes," Alara admitted. "They don't understand they could hurt the garden or themselves." But now she realized her mission was larger. She had to protect the garden, teach others its value, and maintain the fragile harmony she had discovered. And perhaps in the process, she would grow closer to Alien, whose presence had become as vital to her as the garden itself. As the suns of Virelia set, casting a golden glow across the landscape, Alara and Alien stood together in the heart of the grove. The plants around them pulsed softly, as if aware of the bond forming between the human and the alien. For the first time, Alara understood that the garden did more than respond to emotion. It encouraged connection, trust, and care. And in return, it revealed wonders beyond imagination. The day had begun with exploration and curiosity, and it ended with understanding and responsibility. Alara knew the coming days would be challenging. The garden had chosen her as a guardian, and she would not fail. Together with Alien, she would ensure that this living paradise remained safe, that its secrets would be respected, and that humanity would have a chance to learn what it truly meant to be part of something greater. And so, as the light faded and the first stars of Virelia twinkled in the alien sky, Alara felt hope and determination. She had come for science, yes, but she had found something much more profound. Connection, understanding, and the first stirrings of a bond that could change everything. Tomorrow, she would return, ready to explore further, ready to protect, and ready to face the challenges that awaited. The garden had begun to trust her, and she would not betray that trust. For in its light, she saw not only the future of Virelia, but the potential of humanity itself. Alara woke to the soft hum of her cabin, the memory of the garden still vivid in her mind. Today, however, a shadow of unease tugged at her heart. She had heard snippets of conversation among the human team. Some scientists were restless, talking in low voices about experiments, about taking samples, about the potential of Virelia's flora. Greed, ambition, and curiosity tangled in ways she could not ignore. She rose quickly, gathering her equipment. KAI-3 hovered beside her, sensing her tension. "Captain, your vitals indicate concern," it observed. "Do you wish to proceed to the garden?" She could almost hear the faint whisper of the plants, warning her of the danger that approached. Alien awaited her at the edge of the grove, his golden eyes reflecting concern. "You sense it," he said simply. "The others have come too close. Their hearts are not aligned with the garden. They do not see its value beyond what they can take. We need to stop them before they make a mistake." They reached the clearing near the heart of the garden, and Alara's eyes widened in shock. Several humans, guided by curiosity and impatience, had entered the grove. They carried equipment, scanners, and tools to harvest the glowing plants. Their presence caused a ripple in the garden. Vines quivered, flowers dimmed slightly, and the soft hum grew louder, tense. "Alara," one of the humans called. "Look at this. The energy readings are off the charts. We could take a sample and—" "We are here for science." "It's just vegetation." Bright flowers emitted dazzling light pulses, disorienting those who approached recklessly. The pond at the center glimmered intensely, reflecting distorted images that confused and awed the intruders. Alara's heart pounded, but she did not panic. She turned to Alien. "We need to calm it down. They're not trying to harm it, only unaware. We have to show them. Feel the garden and speak with intention. Let them see its truth." Alien placed his hands on the ground, murmuring words in a language Alara could not understand, but she felt the meaning. Peace, understanding, connection. Slowly, the humans stopped moving, bewildered by the living world around them. One of the scientists, wide-eyed, muttered, "It's alive. I've never seen anything like this. This garden is not just for study. It has its own intelligence, its own will. It reacts to greed, to harm, and it protects itself. If you want to learn, you must respect it." The garden responded to the change, the tension easing slightly as understanding replaced recklessness. Alien turned to Alara, his expression serious but calm. "You have done well. You have shown them a path of respect, but the garden's trials are not over. It will continue to test intent. Only those who are sincere may enter its heart fully." She had faced the challenge, and she had guided others to see the garden's value. Yet in the back of her mind, a quiet worry remained. Human greed was persistent, and she could not be sure that all would heed her warning. They moved toward a secluded glade, away from the humans, where the garden's energy was concentrated and serene. The heart of the garden pulsed softly nearby, casting warm light across the space. Alara took a deep breath, feeling the connection with the plants and with Alien. "You were brave," he said softly. "Most would have fled, most would have ignored the warning. Not after what I have seen, not after what I feel. The garden recognizes it as well. That is why it allowed you deeper than others." She had come seeking knowledge, but she had found connection, purpose, and a bond that transcended worlds. Suddenly, a faint tremor ran through the ground, drawing their attention. From the edge of the glade, a cluster of flowers shifted violently, and a low, resonant sound filled the air. The garden was alert again, sensing disturbance beyond the immediate space. Alara exchanged a glance with Alien. "It's the humans," she said. Even with warning, some still approach recklessly. Vines rose to form protective arches, flowers glowed to signal warning, and the pond shimmered with light that reflected truth and intention. The humans had stepped too far, and now the garden was testing their hearts. Alara took a deep breath and focused. She extended her hands toward the humans, speaking firmly but gently. "Listen to me. The garden is alive. It reacts to your intentions. You must step back, respect it, and only then will it allow you to see its wonders. Step forward with greed, and you will face consequences. Step forward with respect, and you will learn wonders beyond imagination." The pond's surface became calm, reflecting the first true understanding in their eyes. Alien watched quietly, his presence grounding the energy. "You have done well," he said. "You have guided them, and in doing so you have deepened your own connection with the garden." The humans had witnessed its power and intelligence, and some had begun to understand. Perhaps this was the first step toward harmony, the first true chance for humans to rise to the level of respect the garden required. As the suns of Violia began to set, casting long shadows across the grove, Alara and Alien stood together in the soft glow. The garden pulsed around them, vibrant and alive, its hum a song of approval. The humans had not yet fully grasped the depth of what they had encountered, but Alara knew that seeds of understanding had been planted. For the first time, she allowed herself to relax, to feel the bond forming between her and Alien. The garden had given her purpose, challenge, and connection. And now it had given her hope that humans could rise to meet it, if only they chose wisely. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new discoveries, and perhaps new dangers. But today, the garden had shown her something extraordinary, that courage, empathy, and understanding could transform even the most forbidden places. And in that transformation, Alara felt the first true stirrings of love, not just for the garden, but for the being who had guided her through it, the alien whose presence had become as vital to her as the glowing plants themselves. The day ended with a promise in the air, unspoken but understood. The garden, humans, and alien were all connected, and together they would face whatever came next. Alara woke to the soft hum of the garden, even faintly audible through the walls of the human base. The memory of yesterday's events lingered in her mind. The way the garden had reacted to human greed, the way Alien had guided her, and the way the humans had begun to understand the value of this living world. But the sense of urgency remained. She knew there was more to uncover, deeper truths hidden within the heart of the garden, secrets that only revealed themselves to those sincere in heart and purpose. She dressed quickly and gathered her notes and scanning equipment. KAI-3 hovered silently, its sensors glowing faintly, ready to assist. "Captain," the droid said, "there is an unusual energy reading from the garden's central zone. It seems stronger than previous days." Together, they walked through the familiar glowing paths. The garden welcomed them, the plants bending slightly as they passed, vines curling gently around their feet. Every flower seemed to glow more brightly, responding to Alara's presence. "This way," Alien said, guiding her toward a section of the grove she had not explored. The air grew thick with light and fragrance, the hum of the garden deepening, resonating in her chest. Alara felt as though she were walking into a living memory, a place where the past and present intertwined. At last, they reached a large clearing dominated by a massive tree, its trunk wider than any she had seen before. Its branches stretched high into the alien sky, each limb adorned with flowers that glowed softly in multiple colors. The heart of the garden pulsed faintly, and beneath it lay a shallow pool of water perfectly still. "This is the core," Alien said, his voice low. "It holds the memory of everything that has happened in this garden, every life, every choice, every feeling. It responds only to those who are open and sincere. Today, it has something to reveal to you." Images appeared, moving and changing, as if showing her moments from the past. Humans stumbling through the garden centuries ago, unaware of its power, leaving scars that the plants slowly healed. She saw explorers, scholars, and even curious children, each interaction recorded within the heart. "The garden remembers," she whispered. "It remembers everything." She saw visions not just of humans, but of the garden itself, how it had grown, adapted, and protected life over centuries. Every bloom, every vine, every glowing flower had a story. The garden was not merely alive, it was sentient, intelligent, and patient beyond measure. "I understand now," she said softly. "This is why it reacts to intention. It's not just survival, it's teaching, guiding, choosing who may enter its heart fully." The garden reacting defensively, vines and flowers forming barriers, some humans hurt by their own recklessness. But she also saw possibility, humans approaching with understanding and care, sharing knowledge and working together with the garden rather than against it. In those images, the garden thrived, humans learned, and two worlds connected in harmony. "It is a choice," Alien said. "Humanity can rise to meet the garden or fall because of ignorance. The heart shows both paths. Otherwise, the beauty and wisdom she had discovered could be lost forever." Suddenly, a soft rustle reached her ears. She turned to see several humans cautiously entering the clearing, drawn by the glowing energy. Some carried tools, others cameras and scanners. Their eyes widened at the sight of the core and the glowing tree. A few hesitated, sensing the power of the heart, but others looked eager, oblivious to the danger. Alara rose, stepping between them and the pool. "Stop," she commanded. "This is not just a place to study. The garden is alive, it records everything, it reacts to intentions. If you approach recklessly, you will harm yourselves and the plants. The garden will teach you, but only if you approach with care, not greed. If not, you will be turned away." Those motivated purely by greed faltered, their tools trembling in their hands, eyes wide with uncertainty. Alara focused on guiding them. "Feel the garden," she instructed. "Do not think of what you can take, think of what you can learn. It will respond to your heart, not your hands." "You have learned well," he said. "You are not only a guardian of the garden, but a teacher. Your heart guides others, and in doing so, you deepen your own connection." As the day passed, they explored the core further. Alara observed strange flowers that responded to thought alone, vines that formed patterns reflecting emotions, and glowing spores that carried memories in their light. She realized the garden was a living archive, a teacher, and a protector all in one. "This place is more than I imagined," she said, turning to Alien. "It's alive, yes, but it's also wise. It's teaching us how to be better, how to connect with life beyond our own world." She had found responsibility, connection, and a new vision of what humanity could be. She looked at Alien, his golden eyes calm and attentive, and realized that the bond between them had grown stronger too. Not only had she connected with the garden, but she had also found someone who shared her reverence and respect for life. As the suns of Violia set, casting a golden and violet glow across the grove, the core pulsed gently, its light bathing them in warmth. The humans who had remained respectful now knelt, watching the living world in quiet awe. Others stood at the edge, still learning, still challenged by their own motives. But all were touched by the power of the garden, and all had seen a glimpse of its intelligence and wisdom. Alara took a deep breath. The day had been revealing, challenging, and transformative. She had learned the secrets of the core, she had guided others toward understanding, and she had deepened her connection with Alien. But she also knew this was only the beginning. The garden had much more to teach, and humanity had much more to learn. She stood by the pool, watching the reflections shift and shimmer, feeling the pulse of life beneath her hands. The heart of the garden had shown her the past, the present, and the possibilities of the future. It had revealed not just the intelligence of plants, but the potential of humans to rise above greed and fear, to connect, to care, and to grow. And in that quiet, glowing moment, Alara realized something profound. Love, understanding, and respect were not limited to one species. They could bloom across worlds, across cultures, across life itself. Tomorrow she would continue exploring, continuing to learn and to teach. But today she had seen the power of connection, the promise of hope, and the extraordinary possibilities that arose when humans chose empathy, courage, and respect over greed and fear. The garden pulsed softly around them, a living heartbeat in harmony with her own. And for the first time, Alara felt that humanity, guided by care and understanding, could truly rise to meet the wonders of the universe. Alara woke early, before the suns of Violia had fully risen. The garden outside glimmered faintly in the soft light, the bioluminescent plants casting gentle shadows across the clearing. Today felt different. There was a calm energy in the air, a sense of completion mingled with possibility. She stretched, feeling the pulse of the planet beneath her boots even through the base floor, and allowed herself a moment of gratitude for what she had discovered here. KAI-3 hovered quietly beside her. "Captain, sensors indicate that the garden's energy is particularly stable today." "It appears to be in a state of harmony," the droid reported. Alara smiled softly. "Then it seems the garden is ready to share its full potential. Let's go." His golden eyes glimmered with quiet warmth, and when he saw her, he inclined his head slightly in greeting. "The garden is calm today," he said. "It senses that the humans have learned much, but there is still work to be done. We show them what it means to respect life, and we ensure the garden is safe." A group of humans approached cautiously, their expressions a mixture of awe and respect. They had spent the past days learning, observing, and adjusting their attitudes. Some still carried equipment, but they kept it idle, sensing that this place required reverence. Alara raised her hands slightly. "Today we witness the garden fully. Step with care, step with respect, and it will respond to you. It will teach you what words cannot convey." "This is the moment the garden chooses to reveal its full intelligence," he explained. "It will show the humans not only its past, but its purpose, its connection to life, and the harmony it desires. Watch and learn." Images appeared on the surface, showing the humans' interactions with the garden over time. They saw the mistakes of those who had come without care, the harm caused by greed, and the beauty restored by understanding. The humans watched in silence, some whispering in awe. One of the younger scientists murmured, "I never realized it's like it's alive, thinking, and guiding us." "It is alive, and it guides those willing to learn. Today it shows you that knowledge is not simply taking, it is connecting, understanding, and respecting." The garden was not speaking in words, but in feeling, in connection. Alara turned to the humans. "You see it now, it is not a resource to be exploited. It is a living entity, intelligent and protective. Your actions matter, your intentions matter. Choose wisely." Others simply stood, absorbing the lesson, feeling the connection that Alara and Alien had described. Slowly, the garden's energy shifted to a state of calm, harmonious glow. It seemed to celebrate the humans' understanding, pulsing gently as though acknowledging their growth. Alien looked at Alara, his expression gentle. "You have guided them well. The garden's trust in you has strengthened. It will allow humans to learn, but only under your guidance. You are now its ambassador, its protector alongside me." And alongside that, a growing bond with Alien that had become as real and vital as the glowing plants around them. The suns climbed higher, casting golden light over the grove. Flowers tilted toward the sunlight, their bioluminescence blending with the natural radiance. Vines swayed gently, as if acknowledging the new harmony established. The mirror pond shimmered, reflecting a future full of promise, a future where humans could coexist with the garden, learning without harming, connecting without exploiting. Alara turned to Alien, her eyes bright. We've done it. They've begun to understand. They're ready to learn, to respect, to care. And now you can focus on your own journey. You have seen the garden's intelligence, you have felt its heartbeat, and you have connected with its guardian. The bond you share is rare, between species, between worlds, between hearts. It's more than curiosity, more than respect, it's love. Together, we can protect this place, learn from it, and share its wisdom with those ready to receive it. Alara and Alien walked hand in hand through the grove, feeling the life around them pulse with energy and approval. Every flower, every vine, every glowing plant seemed to celebrate the harmony established. The garden was alive not only in body but in spirit, a network of intelligence and empathy, and now humans had a chance to rise to meet it. As the day progressed, Alara led the humans through the garden with care. She taught them how to move, how to touch, how to observe without harming. Each lesson was met with fascination, and slowly she felt hope blossom, not just for the garden but for humanity's potential. The humans were capable of empathy, courage, and understanding. They could rise above greed and fear, and this was proof. By evening, the grove was bathed in the light of Virelia's twin suns. Alara and Alien paused at the heart, watching the humans settle into quiet observation. The garden pulsed around them, its energy calm and harmonious. Alara rested a hand on the core's trunk, feeling warmth and connection spread through her. "You have grown today," Alien said softly, "not just in knowledge but in spirit. You have shown that humans can choose understanding over greed, empathy over selfishness, and love over fear. Together, we will ensure that the garden thrives, that humans learn, and that our bond strengthens. One day, this garden may serve as a bridge between worlds, a proof of what humans can achieve when they choose care and respect." Some felt inspired to carry the lessons of Virelia back to Earth, to share the wisdom of the living garden, to teach others the importance of understanding and harmony with life beyond their own world. As night fell, the bioluminescent plants glowed brighter, casting a serene and magical light over the grove. Firefly-like spores floated through the air, shimmering in the gentle breeze. Alara and Alien walked to the mirror pond, gazing into its still waters. The reflection shimmered with radiant light, showing not just themselves, but the humans around them, the garden in full bloom, and the possibility of a future where worlds connected through empathy, courage, and understanding. Alara turned to Alien. "We've come a long way from the day I first stepped into the garden. One day changed everything, and now everything feels possible." Together they stood in the heart of the garden, the pulse of life around them steady, calm, and radiant. Humanity had begun to rise, understanding its potential, and love had blossomed, not just between two beings, but as a promise of harmony between species and worlds. As the night deepened, the stars above Virelia twinkled, mirrored by the glowing plants below. Alara knew that this was only the beginning of a new era. One day had indeed changed everything. But now, with courage, understanding, and love, they had created a future where humans could truly shine among the stars, alongside life as wondrous and intelligent as the heart of the garden. And for Alara, one truth remained clear. Love, respect, and understanding were the keys to unlocking the full potential of humanity, and the garden would always be there to remind them of that.